pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looks like we got a full house today. Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting at the Mitchell County Courthouse. Good morning, everyone. We have an agenda before us. Is there any issues or corrections with this? If not, do we have any motions to approve?
So moved.
Jim has made a motion.
I'll second.
Mike has seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say the same. Hearing none, the agenda has been approved. Number 2, approve the minutes of the March 16th meeting and the claims. Hopefully everybody had a chance to read the minutes and check the claims out. Was there any additions or corrections to the last week's meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and claims of last week's meeting.
Mark has made a motion.
I'll second.
Todd has seconded. Roll call vote. Those four say aye. Todd?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Smolik, aye. So we have approved the minutes for March 16th meeting and the claims. County Attorney General discussion. Are you out there?
Yes, I am.
You have the floor.
I don't have anything unless anybody has any questions for me.
How are we doing with Mr. Kephart? How much time do we have left on that?
Oh, I would have to look. It's coming up here pretty quick within the next couple of weeks. I'll get the file, I'll look, and I'll send everybody an email on the date on that. But I don't think he's going to get any progress, has he?
Maybe put more out there, I guess. I don't know. For sure. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. We will move on then.
I'm going to stick around in case anybody has any questions.
Okay.
I have a question. I had 4 calls last week on your response on the county policy book. They wondered if you're really serious on what you said or what, because they thought it'd be they'd need some type of policy program.
Yeah, I'm serious in that legally it means nothing. I was facetious when I said you should take it and shred it because it doesn't mean anything. From a legal viewpoint, and I'm talking strictly from a legal viewpoint, I don't like them and I wish we could get rid of it. From a practical viewpoint, I see why you need one and I don't think you could get rid of it. So that's my response. Any questions?
No, I guess I'll relay the message, I guess.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Moving on, it's a little early, so we will go to the sheriff update.
Well, I, like Mark, don't have anything for you. I'd answer any questions if you guys have them for me, but we're in good shape over there, so. Anybody in the crowd has any questions, I'll take those too.
Do you have a policy book?
Yeah.
Do you go by your policies?
Yeah.
How come the county attorney's arguing with policy book then?
Well, he kind of changed a little bit here.
There's a difference between it being a legal document and a county policy.
Oh, I'm going to jump in here. Who was asked the question? Was Sheriff Beaver?
Dale Goodale asked the question.
Dale Goodale asked the question, Mark.
Dale Goodell asked the question and Sheriff Beaver was responding.
Okay, I'll just jump in here. Sheriff Beaver, have we terminated two people within the last year without following the handbook?
Yes.
So, while it's a guideline, we don't always necessarily file it if someone commits what we believe to be a serious offense.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, we try to follow it, but there's times when someone does such a serious act that we terminate them immediately without any written warnings, without any hearings, without anything.
We have done that, yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay, everybody satisfied then? Okay, thank you, Mark. No more comments for the sheriff. We'll move on to county engineer update. Rich, are you ready?
Yep. Emailed you guys some information on the Foothill project last week. We got the apparent low bidders for that project. We got the contracts late last week, so we didn't get it on the agenda to approve. I'll have that for you guys next week, a resolution for approval. You guys had a chance to look at it. The numbers came in pretty favorable compared to the engineer's estimate. What you don't see is that there was some addendum items on there that actually made their numbers look a lot better than what they actually could have been. If the addendum numbers were included in the engineer's estimate, they would have been about $200,000 less than the engineer's estimate, so there's some cost savings there. So, got some favorable pricing. The concrete pricing alone was a lot more favorable than I thought it would be, so some good numbers there. I didn't have the breakdown of the combined bridge project between Worth and Mitchell County with that special funding. I kind of led you guys, I don't know if I emailed you guys that the numbers were rather high. Looking at that bid, we've got the breakdown now, and it just seems like bridge prices alone this year are high. These are probably, for our bridge, it was about 25% higher than the engineer's estimate, which is really bad, which is really high. We had one contractor bid on the project, but because we wouldn't change anything in the scope of the project or anything like that, reletting it probably isn't gonna make a difference to us. They got a late start date of June of 2022 on that project, so scheduling shouldn't have been a main issue on whether that bridge is gonna be bid less in cost. I think there's that much work out there, and it's probably gonna get worse as far as finding contractors when you only get one bidder on a project. So, I'll bring that information to you next week. I've gotta remember now if that one's the project with probably wrong if I say $190,000 of that federal money, but the total project cost, and I can't share the details with you until we approve the contract, but the engineer's estimate was $542,000 for our bridge here, and the bid came in at $675,000. So there was $133,800 difference roughly, so about 24.25% difference in price, but I talked to the DOT about award and stuff like that. We have enough in our bridge funds to cover those extra costs, or that bigger cost on that bridge. So, I mean, we wouldn't be in dire straits approving the bid. It's just that I don't think we're gonna see much difference in pricing if we try to. They have to be let by September and trying to turn around and put it in a letting again. I don't think we're gonna see much, if any, savings, and we could run the risk of it costing more. So I'll bring you some information next week on whether or not we want to approve the project. We can't do that here, it's not on the agenda, but just giving you an update on those projects.
So you only got one bid on it?
On the bridge, yep.
Generally, you get more than that.
Yeah, generally, but if there's that much work out there and you've got one contract that's got the time slot available, they'll bid on it. But
I think some of these guys are hoping they're just the only bidder, that's why the number's so high, they put a number in there that,
Yeah, they put it.
They all talk, they all know who's got what.
the bridges are crazy all over the state.
I bid a box culvert in Worth County at the same time, and I had $40,000 savings on that one, and I had 7 bidders, so.
Wow.
There's just that much difference between the type of work and the contractors doing the work, so.
You worked with that contractor before?
The one that bid, yeah, we just finished a project in Worth County with them last year, and so,
Is there still time for somebody else to bid on it, I suppose, right?
no, these are bid through the DOT, it's
So it's
complete.
done.
Yep. So, I can get you that information. Next week, once we approve it, or if you we'll give you the information next week to approve or reject, but I don't recommend rejecting it, but we can't discuss that right now anyway, or go beyond what we just discussed, so. Mark, we had talked about an air exchanger for the Stacy, or the Osage shop here, and you'd give me a lead on somebody that had a used one, and I think that, right now, the new pricing is pretty favorable. The one that individual has is like over 20 years old, and I don't know if that's gonna be cost effective for us to put something like that in. I think a new one's probably gonna be more efficient, but if we find a use for something in one of the other shops, we'll definitely take a look. I did call them and talk to them a little bit about it, but I think what we're gonna do is go ahead, we've got it in the budget to put a new air exchanger in the shop, and the pick our Ullman bid was the most favorable for us. So, we need to kind of approve that before the end of March, otherwise we're probably gonna see an increase in pricing, so if we can jump on that now, we're gonna jump on it and get it going, so. Thought I brought that dollar amount in here, but I don't see it in my stack right now. I can email you guys that information, but being as it was, here's on the quote. Rick Roman quoted us cost of $16,750 for the air exchanger in the Osage shop, so.
That sounds fair.
Well, the one we got in there's over 20 years old, it's due for something new, so.
How did you come out on the furnace?
I haven't
Oil
checked
burner.
it. What's that?
The oil burner.
I didn't check on that yet, see what, I don't think we got a bill for it that I know of yet. But I'll have to look.
Good.
But they'll think it's something we need to have. I mean, we go through so much oil, we better out burning it and saving some money.
Just as well utilize that.
Yep,
That's a
keep
savings.
using it. And then April 6th, the next, April 6th meeting, I'll be bringing the DOT budget program for you guys for approval. Just the one we have to do for the DOT. I'm sure the budget will have to be, try to keep the budget for the county and the DOT the same, so we'll just be looking at some project adjustments in the program itself, the construction program, so. Bring that to you the 6th of April, and it's not, we'll give you, look at it the 6th of April, if there's things that change, we still have the next week yet to finalize it. They've got to be done by April 15th, so that'll give us some time to look at that. And then one other thing, the city of Stacyville has asked that we look at, from the north side coming into town, we go from 55 miles an hour to their city limits to 25 in a big jump. They were looking at maybe wanting to step down in speed limit from 55 to 45, then 25, or we'll find an intermediate spot in there. I think what they're thinking is it's a lot for people to jump down in speed that quickly, and they want to kind of put it on the north side of the industrial park there, so we'll look at that and see if there's some signage that we can do to make that work. Since there's already a speed reduction in there, we'll see if we can move some things around. I'm not quite sure if it's their request, whether they should be paying for the sign or not, but we'll figure that out later. But I think for the most part, it's a pretty steep jump to go from 55 to 25 in that zone, so. Not that it's not done before, because there is advanced notice, so that's there, but they're wanting to slow traffic down before they get to the entrance to the industrial park.
That's probably a good idea, a lot of trucks turning that corner.
Yep, a lot of traffic using that entrance there. So, after today, I'll be going on vacation the rest of the week, and if you got any questions, I'll see if I can answer them.
How's the Mitchell County paving compared to ours?
Really comparable. They were both were really tight. Both really tight. I think.
The bids were tight.
Oh yeah. I think the second closest bid in Mitchell County was $7,000 difference. So you can't get, and then between second and third was $4,000 on a $2.1 million project. That's not. That's really tight. That's the difference between dollars and cents on a big bid item. So yeah, very favorable in both counties.
Here's a note for you, Rich, talking about being tough possibly to find contractors in the future. If our federal government does pass that $3 trillion infrastructure plan, that's even gonna make finding contractors tougher, so.
Well, and it all depends too on how they want to deliver that money. If they deliver it through a federal aid package where it's federal money, like these two bridges we're talking about. These two bridges that are tied together in Worth and Mitchell were supposed to be cost-saving measures. It's strikingly weird that the timing of bidding these projects doesn't seem favorable in costs anymore. But if there's more money out there, it's gonna be tougher to find contractors. Now, right now, the concrete paving market's pretty skinny, but that changes year to year. I mean, it can change next year. And if they've got $3 trillion on how much they put into the roads and bridges, that's gonna make a big difference. It's gonna be, prices sometimes tend to climb a little bit when we know that the funding's out there.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
We wait.
I had one more question on Kirkwood. There was a farmer that asked me, like when you get doing dirt work there, there's a couple of field driveways that he doesn't need or want. Could they come out
Oh, yeah.
during that time?
Yeah.
You guys would take them out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's no need for them. It helps
Yeah, you
drainage
don't
if they're
need
not there, so.
Yeah.
Yep, it helps drainage.
Yep, okay. Yeah, that's another 2 culverts or whatever too, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay,
Yeah, just have them contact me so we can,
Get a flag
locate
or so
those
you
and
know
know
where
which
they're
ones
at.
they want.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
Okay, it is pretty much close enough to 8:45, isn't it, Rachel? So we'll slide back up to number 4, our public hearing on borrowing $300,000. And, this is on the resolution for Mitchell County to borrow $300,000 for the Mitchell County Conservation.
The resolution will be number 5, item 5. You need to open the public hearing.
Correct. Anyways, we'll open that public hearing up on borrowing the money. Supervisors, did we have any oral or written comments from anybody? None. Rachel, did you have any?
No.
Is there any discussion?
I had one guy contact me that has land that borders it, that was just wondering about it, but I told him what I knew and he's okay with it.
Yeah, I did talk to Brian Winger.
Rick Brown.
Oh, I haven't talked to Rick
Yeah,
yet.
he called me. He's in Florida right now, but I told him, he was concerned about the easement from the backside, but they told me, I think he planned on just having that go through the front way, right?
Yeah, well, I'll talk to him, see what he wants to do there.
Is there an easement from the east?
There is.
I'm asking, is there?
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah, it's called the Cartway Easement. Comes in from the east so that they could get their hay out from that field back there, so. Whether we wanna open that to the public or not is up to us. I think we can
I think
leave it
that's
as maintenance
probably-
or
that's-
whatever.
That is probably his concern, correct?
Right, because people will use it whether it's wet or dry, you know. That is his concern.
That would be something you definitely wanna get chatted out, cause I'm sure for him, he's not gonna want somebody cruising through there when it's after a rain.
Yeah.
And,
It's just a dirt path, you
yes, I think he'd probably be happy to have it just for conservation officials.
I think that's possible, so.
Alrighty,
know. That was the only thing I heard about it.
is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. And, do I have to read all this, Rachel?
Maybe just the top part. We're all.
Okay, the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors here, 2-4, propose to enter into a loan agreement, the loan agreement, and to loan money thereunder in a principal amount of not to exceed $300,000 for the purpose of acquiring conservation property. The Mitchell County Board of Supervisors has instituted proceedings to enter into the loan agreement and have published notice of this proposed action and held a hearing thereon March 23rd, 2020. And this resolution number is 1082-21. think I've said that correctly, right, Rachel? So, do we have any motions to approve borrowing $300,000?
I'll move to approve borrowing $300,000 as stipulated by resolution number 1082-21.
Jim's made a motion.
I'll second that.
Mark has seconded it. So, those, this will be a roll call. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Todd?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Smollett, aye. So, this has passed. And, 8:40.
Thank you again, guys, appreciate that.
You bet. So, moving on, it's a little early yet. We will slide down to, what do you think we should do, Rachel? Meetings attended or discuss master matrix?
Master matrix.
Okay, discuss master matrix for Iowa Egg Company site. And this is not a new site, it's a previous site that's been in existence. They're just cleaning up, so making some clerical changes in paperwork. Is that a good way of describing that?
Yep.
And we all have a fact sheet. And what we have to do is make an approval.
You don't have to do that today. I believe that it is in Mark's district, so Todd will be the one looking over his paperwork and verify if he agrees with the score that they currently have on there. They need 440 points to pass, and they have it scored at 445.
That's the DNR score.
Yep. So then, next Tuesday, we'll put it on the agenda, Todd's findings, and then you guys can vote on it if you agree or disagree.
Anyways, Todd, you'll
Okay.
research this out.
Look at it.
I called the DNR yesterday, the DNR lady that's on here, I have her cell phone number, she was quite informationally, she had a lot of information as far as this thing. And something that I learned about it, it's not the DNR that is scoring it, it's the facility themselves that do the scoring. And it's the DNR and us that are reviewing the site to confirm that their numbers are legitimate. So.
I don't know if you can read, this is something right under the Nickel group, and we also score, we can request.
That's kind of what's gonna go.
Okay,
You guys like
Ken.
the paperwork part of it. So if you have questions, I have his cell phone down here for you too.
Okay.
And I'd be willing to go over it with you too if you want.
Okay. Appreciate it, Ken.
Yep.
Is there any other questions for Ken? Okay, I guess pretty much we've resolved then what we need to discuss on this. Shall we drop right down to items of note, meetings attended? Jim, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
Mike?
Yeah, I had a NICOG meeting, North Iowa Community Action Organization. Anyway, they went over their budget and introduced all the new board members. I'm one of them, and they have a quarterly meeting in Mason City and have a meal and then a meeting. But they're like, they have like rental assistance for low-income people, heat assistance, furnace replacement, and all that stuff. So they got brochures that has all their information on there. There's a couple numbers in Mitchell County. They don't have an actual office in Mitchell County, but there's 2 numbers on here to people to contact if they need assistance. Floyd County has an actual office that kind of serves this area too. So just kind of learned about that. I guess we contribute to that every year too. So it's probably a good program for people that need it.
indicate how many people, if any, in Mitchell County do utilize that?
Some, there's a lot more in other counties than Mitchell County. I think Sarah Gordo County is the largest user of it, but probably population wise too, so, yeah, there is numbers. 1 in 12 people use it, 1 in 12 households, so, in county,
In the whole area?
in the whole area, yes. Mitchell County was one of the lower ones, I do know that. I suppose it has to do with employment too, and stuff, you know.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I think,
Thank you.
yeah, yep.
Todd, did you have a meeting attended?
Yeah, I had a couple, FMC DCAT, that was my first one, and I'm just gonna tell you,
Ain't that fun?
there's a lot to know, and actually the gal, we're gonna get together on a phone conversation end of this week. It was pretty Greek to me, I'm sorry, there was a lot of budget talk and things, so I just need to, and they told me that there's a lot to absorb, and I sat and listened, but it sounds, they're helping a lot of people between, I think they're right at 12 and 17-year-olds, and so.
It was with Melissa Clum.
Yeah, I, especially, and you're not in person, so, you know, it was I go to, and it was pretty, I got a lot of learning to do, so.
That's one of the toughest ones.
What's that?
It's one of the toughest ones.
Yeah.
And at budget time, at budget time, you have to give money back, or you have to send it to another department, and it's a lot of tracking, like 2 and 3 years out. It's one of the toughest parts.
Yeah, that was part of it, you know, do we want to hold this, move it to here, and I finally kind of broke in after about a half hour and said, you guys have lost me.
Give yourself a year. That's when you're gonna start maybe getting it. Really.
And they're all were positive. There was like 8 of us on there at that, and they said, we were all in your shoes, you'll do fine.
Again, the rest of the people are in working with child
Yeah.
and young adult. That's their job, so they know what they're talking about, and you're just getting fresh into this. And good luck after a year. I was on it for almost 3 years now, and I was just finally getting it kind of figured out.
There's a 19-year veteran, a 36-year veteran, and so, you know, what do you do? But no, so I'll get with him, Melissa, and we're trying to hook up Thursday or Friday. EDC meeting last night, we ended up with, there was 2 different towns had council meetings, so we actually didn't have enough for a quorum, and we did a little discussing, but we'll reschedule and hopefully get this housing project and different stuff, kind of try to get some stuff narrowed down to where we can get rolling on it, so.
We had some ideas here. Did they, I mean, I know it wasn't a quorum, we couldn't really discuss, but was there an indication that they had some ideas also?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and all 3 towns kind of were represented. We had some go-to meeting. A lot of the same wants, but we just need to detail it, and but again, little discussion is all we did. It wasn't enough to have a quorum, so everybody was in agreement. We need to get everybody here, and let's get rolling. You know, our interim director's taking a lot of phone calls per day. How'd you come out? What do we got going? You know, I mean, they're getting antsy. So, but we'll get through it. And that was it.
Close enough to 9 o'clock yet?
8:59.
I just, tomorrow is countywide, there's a tornado warning, and I apologize, I don't know if any of you have been trained on the courthouse emergency plans. Steve, have you talked to them anything about what the level stuff is? I didn't know if Chris had talked to you guys or not, what the emergency plans are for the courthouse, what the evacuation procedure is, what, you know, the lower level procedure is. I'd be willing to go over that with you after the meeting if you want to. It's not anything that is a big deal about quorum, but there is some safety protocol that the lower level has that, I didn't know if any of you guys have been trained on it. We have different programs that we do.
I'd be interested.
Because tomorrow is a tornado warning, and I was like, oh, I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys
so
have been told what's.
You'll visit with us
Yep,
after the
we'll
meeting.
go over it, just, you know, there's a clipboard that you
Okay.
check off and inventory this floor. This is where you go if there's a tornado. This room is where you go to evacuate, and then we've got like areas of refuge for fire. If people can't get out, where they go and the fire department will come get them, and just stuff like that I feel sorry that I didn't think about it until we were talking about it.
The whole courthouse comes in here?
The whole courthouse comes down
Okay.
here for tornado. Yeah.
Okay.
So after the meeting, I will hang out after the budget part and go over that stuff with you all, if that's okay?
Well, it is 9 o'clock. So, it's time for the public hearing for the year 21-22 county budget. We'll open the public hearing. And, Rachel? Or Shannon, do you want to have anything to say here?
I'm just here talking about my department, if anybody has questions, that's it.
Okay. I don't really know how to describe this. What part do you want me to read on here?
So just if there were any written or oral comments.
Okay, we'll just go right to that.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any oral or written comments, any discussion on this? Was there any?
I had none.
I had none.
None. Rachel?
And,
Okay. So, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and approval of the budget for 21-22 county budget. And Rachel, I would think we probably want to at least describe the amount here.
most of it was described in the max levy. So you listed the not to exceed a certain amounts in the max levy amounts. As you can see in the bottom, rural areas are 9.54793, urban is 5.59793.
Okay. So, this would be we'll move it on down to number 9, approval of 21-22 county budget. Do we have any motions to that effect?
I'll move to make that motion.
Todd has made a motion.
I'll second that.
Mark has seconded. This will be another roll call, and those approved, I'd say state aye, and those against, nay. Todd? Aye. Mark?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Smollett? Aye. So we have approved the 21-22 county budget. Did we do that correct, Rachel? Going back to meetings attended, Mark, did you have a meeting?
No, I did not.
You did, neither did I, so I guess we will slide right on down to manure management plan updates. Rachel?
2, reload 2 site, 2388 370th Street, Osage. In Timber Finisher Farm, 4365 Timber Avenue in Braceville.
That's it, okay. Moving on, public comments. Awfully quiet.
I've made multiple complaints about Mitchell County Conservation and Brian Huffman plowing snow at his house. I've contacted Adam Shirley, nothing gets done. Our county attorney says we don't have a rule book. Now he's changed his mind. Now we have a rule book. I called Adam Shirley on Friday at 3 o'clock. Nobody around. Are we supposed to work till 5 o'clock or what time at Mitchell County Conservation? No call back. My personal opinion, Adam Shirley needs to be wrote up. Brian Huffman needs to be wrote up. The truck needs to be taken away from him because you have stated that the county says you cannot take a county vehicle home when you're not an official. He's been taking it home for whenever Highway 9 blew out 2-3 years ago, he decided to start taking it home. If this can't be resolved, I got 2 years of vacation. I can come here every Tuesday till something gets done. I have been getting bitched at about my flag by the county attorney. Last night I had a visit by Betty McCarthy. I don't know who was involved in it, but I'm pretty sure that one of your supervisors was involved in it because he drove by about the same time. And I'm sick of it. If it don't end, I'm gonna sue. My attorney is the city attorney. He went to the city and he told the city and he told me that it's harassment if somebody comes to my door. So if somebody is sending people to my door to complain, it needs to end. They threatened my wife's job. They said they like your wife at her work. What does that tell you? That they're looking at going to the board and trying to get my wife fired. That's from Betty McCarthy. It's been in St. Anne's Enterprise. It's been in the Mitchell County Press. It's freedom of speech. If people don't like it,
It is freedom of speech. Whether it's correct or not, it is freedom of speech.
I was gonna take it down, but now I'm just to the point where people are coming to my house and complaining. Somebody pulled up, took a picture the other day, blocked the street off. My neighbors park on both sides of the street. They parked their truck and trailer in the street, got out, took pictures of my flag. 5 minutes. The next time it happens, I will walk out there, ask them if they need my signature. I mean, that's not a county issue, but it's a county issue if one of your supervisors is informing people to come over there and complain. It will end, or I will go after the supervisor on it. And I will be here next Tuesday to make sure we do something about Brian Huffman and Adam Shirley. So we can put that on the docket.
I'd like to talk with you after the meeting if it works out for you.
It works out for me. I'm off all day.
That'd be great.
Dale, have you went to,
I contacted my lawyer, and my lawyer
yeah,
went to the
but,
city.
you know, they do have their own board, and, I mean, maybe.
The Conservation Board had a meeting. Mike Mayer went to it. He told them that Brian could not drive that truck home. Expecting Brian not to be driving the truck home, he's still driving the truck home. So, that's insubordination. Adam Shirley needs to be wrote up for insubordination. He's disrespecting something that the county says you cannot do. And if you guys don't want to do something about it, I mean, there's newspapers. Mr. Falk's here, he can write it in his newspaper. He likes to write everything else in the paper. I mean, I can write it in your paper that Adam Shirley's, I mean, what's he doing? Screwing the county attorney or what? I mean, how do you get away with stuff?
Well, I was told that he takes the truck home, he's a maintenance.
It's wintertime. He plowed his own driveway. He admitted to plowing his own driveway. He did not get wrote up for it. The guy that works for the school out here, he took a school truck home, accidentally dropped the plow coming out of the driveway. The school board wrote him up for it. What's the problem? We're the county here. We're not the school district. If the county can't do something, why do we have a county supervisors and all this? We might as well just have finance and driver's license station. We've got no rules. We don't need a courthouse upstairs if we don't have no rules. If you can just say, well, okay, let's just do whatever we want to do.
But has Adam told you that there's
Adam won't talk to me. I called him Friday, 3 o'clock, left a message, said I'll see you at the meeting. He sat right there, never come over and said a word. So he knows that he's in trouble. If if you wanna talk to me, I'm sitting right here, he was sitting right there. He wouldn't say a word. If he's gotta work till 5 o'clock, he's gonna be there till 5 o'clock. It's not free for all. You can go and, does Shannon Paulus come and go if she wants to? No, she doesn't. She has to be here. If you can't control the county employees, something needs to be done. Where I work at, there's cameras. You have to punch in a code to get into the building, and there's cameras showing when you're leaving, so.
But there's a lot to it what that guy does with the parks in the summer, the.
This ain't summertime. Brian Huffman's been doing this for how long, so don't stick up for him.
There's also cabins they take care of. And
They have people
You gotta weigh out the.
they have people that are
time to drive you
caretakers.
back and forth, and, I mean, that's just what I've been told, Dale, and I think you should maybe get on the agenda at
Put it on the agenda for next week. I'll be
at
here.
the conservation and go
No,
through
it
kind of.
don't do no good to go to the conservation board.
But you haven't done that.
Oh, I've been there. I complained 3 years ago about Brian Huffman smoking. You know what they did? They said I didn't have pictures of it, him smoking in a county vehicle. Go up to his county vehicle. It's our vehicle. Go up to his county vehicle. Smell the damn thing. They're out there smoking all the time at the dump. They're out there smoking at the county. What's anybody do about it? Nothing. Adam Shirley won't do nothing. I'm coming to you guys saying, hey, if Adam Shirley won't do nothing, I don't care if they have their own board. You guys are over the whole county.
No, that isn't how it works. That's why I want to discuss this with you afterwards. No, seriously, in order to have.
You sent Betty McCarthy to my
I
house
did not. That's why I
to
want to
complain
discuss
about
this
my
with you.
flag because you drove by at the
No.
same time she was standing there
You are
complaining.
wrong about that. That's why I want to
No, I'm
discuss
not
that with
wrong.
you. Yes, you
Before
are.
we get into a
This
shout.
is not a discussion. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to be
I'm
on the
done
agenda
talking to
for
you
the
about it.
discussion. I would like to talk with you.
No, I'm done talking to you about it. It's gonna be a lawsuit if it keeps up.
Okay.
You own property across the street from me. You don't live there.
Dale, I do understand what you're saying about, because, and Brian is a friend of mine too, Dale is too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, the county does have a policy. It is in the rules. And an autonomous board, does that have power over county policy? Does it? I question that. Well, I do understand that Brian has a need to use the vehicle during the summertime, as you have stated, you've said it yourself, but in the winter time, when it probably not needed out at home, maybe it could sit out at the conservation building. As long as our phone isn't ringing, or Dale is upset, and Dale is not the only person that has brought this up to our attention.
No, he is not. I've heard it from others, so.
I have too. And again, I don't want to be a stinker, but we do have a county policy. And it is a good policy. I mean, it is, we have a book. That's what policies are for. But I'm also for bending the policy during the summertime when the truck is needed to go to parks, but in the wintertime. But again, I would like you, Dale, to try and resolve that. Go out to the conservation board meeting again and try and resolve that with them. I hate to get us involved in this. Try and resolve it and express your opinions there. You know, possibly there could be during the winter time that truck. Then it doesn't become an issue. Then it isn't. But like I stated, do I think the gal that called me from the Globe last week, if I was Brian and I had that truck and I was coming home and my yard was full of snow, I'd drop the plow at the road and drive in and plow it out. But if the truck ain't at home, it isn't a problem. But again, try and work it out with the conservation, then come back to us.
So what you're saying is, you will do something if the conservation won't do nothing about it?
Well, again, I'm just one person up here talking.
Like I said, I got vacation. I can come here every Tuesday for the next 2 years and complain about stuff. I got plenty of stuff to complain about. If I make a complaint, nothing gets done. But back in the day when I used to get in trouble, guess what? If there was a warrant for my arrest, boom, they come and got me. But now I have a complaint and nothing gets done.
Well,
Double standards.
I understand what you're saying, and again,
I'll go to the
I don't quite see
Conservation
need
Board.
of it in the winter time. But in the summertime, I can bend the rules for him to use
Yeah.
it to go to the parks. I understand that.
When's the next meeting? Mike?
Second Tuesday in April.
I'll go out there.
Second
again.
Tuesday, 7.
Okay, I'll be there.
You go too?
Yep.
Okay. I'll be there.
I can go too.
I know other counties have policies and they do follow.
The only thing of it is when 3 goes, then that changes things.
And it's a public meeting. It's a quorum.
Can you two work on this then together?
It's my board, or I'm assigned to it, unless,
I'll let 2 go, but again, you both feel how I'm not opposed to him using it in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. I'm not opposed to him using it in the summertime, but
In the wintertime, so that my phone don't ring, Dale's not upset, and the others aren't upset, and
meeting in the middle then.
there really isn't a need for it to be driven out there in
Winter?
the winter.
I don't know, yeah.
But
They said
Unless,
the Magna
unless
Carta cabin,
the
but I don't know.
conservation board can find a reason, but again, it is still policy, it's still in our book, but work it out,
mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Yeah.
work it out.
Yeah, I think we can be middle on this, I mean, common sense.
As
I
far
guess
as your
there's
flag
probably
is concerned, Dale, it's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And I guess, Dale, I'll go back to the winter time, you know, those cabins, people are renting them ahead, you know, so they
We
would know.
have caretakers
if-
though that take care of stuff.
What's
We have
that?
caretakers for parks, we have caretakers that take care
Well,
of
I
it,
mean,
that
for
go
the
and clean
snow,
it.
like if say
I think
that,
that truck is used though to plow that roadway out to the cabin.
yeah. and
But
I
how
mean,
many
they
times
know
are
that.
they used in
Yeah,
summer?
not probably very often, but that would be, people that are renting it a month
They
ahead
don't
of
snow
time,
every day.
so they know, so
They know when it's getting rented, they can go out and plow it. I've got no problem with them going out and plowing it during work hours. But when you're taking a truck home and it's sitting there and you're plowing your own driveway, let's call up Pollard's, let's ask them what they charge to plow a driveway, for instance. Okay, let's take it out of Brian's paycheck, what it costs to plow his driveway. Yeah, okay, you went home, you didn't want to plow your driveway. Well, I feel the same way sometimes, but guess what? I have to start up my snow blower and blow my driveway. Take it out of his paycheck. That'll make me happy. I mean, I'll bring that up to the board too, Conservation Board.
Well, again, try and work it out at the next meeting, then come back. Do we have any other public comment? Keith?
A lot of comments, not making any right now.
Thank you.
Buy him a house, Keith.
With,
Drive him by my house then.
with nothing else left to discuss, we will,
Nope, I'm good.
yeah, Lindsay hiding back there. I didn't know he was here till halfway through the meeting. It's like, where'd he come from?
We got that to hear you, Steve.
With nothing left to discuss, we'll end the meeting. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't see Lindsay sneak in at all.
He was here when I
See you
came.
later.
Dale, do you have time?
Didn't see you.
Did you send back over there?
No, it did not.
Oh, it was kind of funny.
Chairman?
You drove by, I was saying,
Anyway,
Alright, there's supposed to be a clipboard in your office, but I didn't see it, so I'll figure that out. Maybe another one.
Facebook.
There's a clipboard with
I
a
have
red
no
button.
value to it.
What's that?
To me, I use it, otherwise,
And,
I was already in bed.
so when there's an evacuation or something, you grab that clipboard.
Nothing gets resolved.
I'll get another, I'll put it on the bulletin board here, and we'll have all 5 of your names on it. So whoever's here, if no one's here, then no one's here. But if one of you is here, then you would check off if someone's not here. So like if it happened this morning, Steve's the chair, so he's in charge of this department right now. So he'd take the clipboard and he would check that all 5 of you are here. And then he counted.
Even Dudley's out. Hopefully it doesn't
And then
Yeah, I'm just curious about the clipboard.